Hi, welcome back to Sip, Spill, and Solve, episode 14, and we've got a royal treat lined up for you.
That's right. Tonight, cocktail confession is the royal apple. It's a crisp, a little fancy, and just the right amount of trouble. Kind of like us.
Yep, and speaking of trouble, our dumb criminal this week really wiped out in the romance department. A North Carolina man toilet papered his ex's house, left a threatening note, and got himself arrested. Yep, we're calling him the toilet paper boyfriend.
So, from TP to terror. Then we go into something darker for this season's Uncorked Mystery. The Watcher. Creepy letters, unsettling neighbors, and the kind of story that makes you want to sleep with the lights on.
Just like our friend Cindy. So go grab your glass, pour yourself a royal apple, and join us as we sip, spill, and solve. Episode 14 starts now.
Nice. This time, cocktail confessions. And this week, Kiki.
Nope, not me.
No, it's not.
Well, it is me, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It
Yeah,
is. It's me. I wanted to make it look like it was all G.
I'm sorry. We'll do. This week, again, is Kiki. And it's called Royal Apple Cocktail.
Yes, it's a royal apple. And it's interesting because my friend Angie kind of gave me the recipe. So I would call it like maybe John's Royal Apple Cocktail because she said he made it, and she gave me the idea, but it actually is a thing. So it is Crown Royal, applesauce, which cracks me up.
Yeah.
And apple cider. It's easy.
Very easy.
Now, we had leftover from our last episode. We had rimmed our glasses.
Yes.
And we loved it so much. We thought, let's just do that again. So we rimmed it again. And then we threw our leftover apple slices in there.
Yeah.
And what else did we put in there?
The applesauce surprised us. We did put, even though that's what the recipe called for.
That was very interesting. So I think that recipe was 4 ounces of apple cider, 1 tablespoon of applesauce, and 1.5 ounces of Crown Royal
apple flavor.
Shake and pour as we poured it then over ice with our little rimmed glasses. And it just also tastes like fall in the glass.
It does. It's excellent.
I love it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you think of a drink that makes you bold enough to send that risky text, because that's why I've always said from the beginning.
Yeah.
Odd episodes sober, even episodes tipsy.
True, you did.
And it just took us like 30 minutes to fix our freaking microphones again.
Yeah, and this is episode 14. So,
anyway, we have sipped a little. So if we trip over our words, please don't take it personally.
No.
It's just who we are and how we roll. So anyway, so what is our wine and what the hell this week?
It is the toilet paper boyfriend.
Oh, how much fun is that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it sets the bar low. And
real low.
This is a state that I don't think we've heard from.
Oh, really? Haven't we?
No, it's North Carolina.
I feel like we have.
I'm not sure. Maybe we have,
I don't know. But yeah.
Okay. So a man in North Carolina he's toilet papered his girlfriend's house.
Okay. And then what happened?
And unfortunately, police, because he toilet papered and on the toilet paper, he left a note.
I was holding up my paper and Jeannie thought I was like, wanting her to read it. No, I'm enthralled in your story. It was childish. It was a childish, angry note. But that took the crime from like petty whatever into like a hate crime. It was how he was charged with hate crime.
Yes. It was a threatening note. And so unfortunately then the police got him on a hate crime. You're right. Yeah. And so he was arrested and also charged with stalking.
Very interesting. So think twice before you TP somebody's house.
Yes. Now, I got a story to tell because...
Okay. because I didn't do a confession with the...
Oh, yeah. So I'll make this because... Okay, this was my cocktail confession. Okay, so everyone knows, when you're in high school, you toilet paper people's houses.
Yes.
Well, we used to have a game night here in our neighborhood, and once a month, we'd get together and have a game night. And so one night it was me and a friend of mine, and everyone else had left and we were bored. And so we used to, yes. So we started talking about some things we used to do in high school. Yes. And we actually said, let's go toilet paper. And this was like 5-10 years ago, maybe. Okay. So we were adults. We had the best time. And we were laughing so hard by toilet papering people who were at the party's house.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that, as a woman who's over the age of 50, even 40, this was where I used to describe and say, I was laughing so hard, I peed myself a little bit.
I would have peed myself a lot of it. And then you had the toilet paper in case.
Yes. Well, and the funny thing is we actually were smarter than we were in high school because we said, let's put a little bit of toilet paper on our bushes because then everyone would not think it was us.
Right.
So,
you're so smart.
we are. But the bottom line too is I think sometimes we need to regress and do things you used to do.
That's what we do every week here on the podcast.
Sometimes adulting is not fun. So do things you used to do and it's fun.
But don't attach a hate crime.
No, we won't do that. We're
not going to advocate that.
Yeah. So that was cocktail confession.
Well, now, if anybody of your friends listened to the episode, I mean, did they ever know it was you?
Yeah.
They did. Oh, yeah. Okay.
In fact, then it became a regular thing. And some people actually, one night I could not make it to our game night. So they got us and they toilet papered our house. Now, the good part about that is they actually showed my husband and I because then a few months later, it was Christmas time and we're like, how do we hang lights outside? Well, we did wear the toilet paper because it was so good. So yes, but yeah, and we haven't done that recently, but maybe we should.
There's a rash of toilet paperings in Hanover, Pennsylvania. We'll know.
Yeah.
We'll know who to blame. All right. So now.
Yes.
Uncorked Mystery. So we're moving in a little bit different direction this time. This is a little bit more creepy as we ease into fall.
Yes.
We may ease into a little bit more of the creepy.
I like that.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. It gives us a little, I mean, it's still an unsolved crime.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to do with a missing person or murder.
Yes. But it's creepy.
Yeah. And I kind of like that. So it's going to be a little bit darker. And so this week's Uncorked Mystery is The Watcher.
Oh, okay. So picture moving into your dream home in Westfield, New Jersey, I think it was.
New Jersey. Uh-huh.
Okay. Only to start receiving letters from someone called The Watcher.
And these letters, they weren't just nosy neighbor complaints.
No.
They talked about young blood, knowing the families every move, and even if they asked if they found out what was hidden in the walls.
Yes.
Now, we do have, so evidently, the actual full letters have never been released to the public.
Right.
So we have snippets of the letters.
Yes.
This family, they're named the Broaddus family, and they've been saved to be able to move and to buy this house into Westfield, New Jersey, which is a suburb of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say this house wasn't cheap.
No.
Like this was back in the day, 2014?
It was pretty recent. I mean, it was,
I forget when it was, but I think, and at that point it was over like 1.3 million for this house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't like it was it was a nice move for them. They were looking forward to it, and so all this other thing. So anyway, imagine the surprise of Mr. Broaddus when he gets a typewritten letter that's just in his mailbox.
Yes.
And this is the first letter. I'm going to read you what we have of the first letter.
Okay. Creepy.
So it began nicely enough, but it says, "Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood."
Okay.
Then it quickly changed. "How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within? 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades. Now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for a second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here?
Ooh.
I will find out. Who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I am in one. Look at the window you can see from 657 Boulevard. Maybe I'm in one. Maybe I'm in one." And then ended with, "Welcome, my friends. Welcome. Let the party begin." Signed, The Watcher.
Okay, that's creepy with a capital C, in my opinion.
But what do you do with that?
I The thing is I don't know if I would have even gone to the police at first because, I may be thinking, oh, it's some kids trying to,
play a prank,
be a prank.
or something. No, it just.
So I don't know if at first, but I would have been creeped out. I would have,
They were, and they were creeped out. Like it kept them up at nighttime, trying to think like, who would do this? Why? All the, all these things, because, who knew them. Now, the wife, Maria, she had grown up in Westfield, New Jersey. So it wasn't like they were new transplants. Like she had grown up there. So I don't know why the watcher would specifically target, say, I think in one of them, I'm trying to think, it's in the second letter. In one of the letters, it says about like, are you one of those transplants that's from Hoboken?
Yes.
So this person should have known, I would think, that, that she was from the neighborhood, but maybe not.
Yeah.
And also I believe that this was was it after settlement or before settlement? Like, there's no way that somebody should have really been able to know this.
No, I think it was right after settlement. And I think they wanted to make some changes to the house. So they had like a construction.
Okay, there.
They actually have not officially moved into the house.
Right.
So honestly, someone must have really actually been watching the house to see.
Well, the people that sold them the house, they found out later that they got a letter.
Yeah.
A couple weeks, I think, before settlement.
And the people lived there like 25, the previous owners.
Years, 23 years. And they had
none of did not receive it. So that's what's very odd about this.
And the letter that they got just basically thanked them for taking care of the house.
Yeah.
And they didn't keep it. I believe they just threw it away.
Yeah, because they just thought it was
nothing.
Same. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And then let's see what happened. I think it was 2 weeks later.
Yes.
I think when they just kind of settled down and thought, it was just a prank or whatever. Their renovations were well underway.
Yeah.
I believe that the kids were there, the three children, younger children, and they would be playing and, doing stuff as they were working on the house and stuff like that. So after, 2 weeks later, after the first, and then this is an excerpt of that letter.
Okay.
Do you want to read it?
No, you go ahead. Yeah. Nope. You're doing good. Yeah.
It says, all of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the watcher and have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. In the letter, the writer asked if the Brodus family, in the letter, I guess this is the writer had asked the Brodus family had brought the young blood as he had requested. we were trying to print this off as the letters themselves, but it's very difficult. Like, it's hard to get a hold of these letters. And I listened to a bunch of podcasts that they had really done a lot of deep research and put some of these letters together.
Yes.
But it was hard for us to actually find it. And then it says, do you need to fill the house with young blood? Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family, or was it greed to bring me your children? Once I know their names, I will call and draw them to me.
So he's watched. This was just 2 weeks after the first one. He knows now there's kids.
Yep.
So it's obviously someone either that has met him as a neighbor,
right,
or someone that has been watching.
Right. And how would you watch and not be noticed unless you lived, I would say, across the street?
Yes.
Or behind them, or beside them, whatever. But now this is starting to get into psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Because basically they're not threatening him, the family. There's no thing saying, stop doing this, don't do that. Although it does say in other letters to stop construction. You're making the house cry.
Yes.
Things like that. But it never actively gives them, it doesn't say move.
Right.
And it seems like he's all over the place, because at one point, then after they get scared, they don't bring the kids back.
Yes.
And then the next letter that comes says something about, where have the young blood gone? Why don't you bring them back to me? So it's like this person doesn't know what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just also, there was a total of, I believe, 4 letters sent to this family.
Yep.
And
one of the other ones.
And then 2 of them, one was sent to the original owners, and then I think another one was sent to another neighbor, possibly. I'm not sure.
There was one that was sent, and they just threw it away. They thought it was just
which I would do.
A random thing. Yeah. And it was Derek and Maria Broaddus was the name.
Okay.
And then I think it was in the first letter, the second letter, I believe it was, their name was spelled wrong.
Oh.
But it still had a double D in it. So it's spelled Broaddus. I forget how they spelled it, but they did put the 2 D's in there, which led some like profilers to think that they did that like on purpose to say like, oh, I don't know who these people are.
Okay.
But yeah.
And then I think they, of course, interviewed neighbors. Then the police got involved, or, and they interviewed neighbors. And one of the neighbors had lived there a very long time. And I think she was widowed, but her grown children lived there.
Yeah, she was like 90 and her grown children still lived with her, which was odd.
Yeah.
And the one was not schizophrenic,
but bipolar,
something like that. And they said that he would go through the neighbors' yards and he would look in windows sometimes. So he was the obvious candidate. But from the way these letters were worded, sounds like to the experts that it was an older person.
Yes.
They used the word like fancy, and eventually they did DNA testing and they found that it was a female DNA.
Surprise. That,
Which you would assume that it's a man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Especially as, I don't know, the way the letters were worded, and from what I heard, to me, I just pictured a male.
I know, you just do. In this like kind of stalker cases.
Yeah.
Here's that third letter.
Yeah.
It said, 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It has been years and years since the young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is very far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream. So now you're going after the kids.
Yes.
Right. And as a mother, I would not take a chance at all with my children.
No.
And then he said, oh, wait, hold it. The house is crying from all the pain it is going through. You have changed it and made it so fancy. You are stealing its history. It cries for the past and what used to be in the time that when I roamed its halls. 1960s were a good time for 657 Boulevard when I ran from room to room, imagining the life with rich occupants there. The house was full of life and young blood. Then it got old and so did my father, but he kept watching until the day he died, and now I watch and wait for the day when the young blood will be mine again.
Okay. And as it turns out, the Broaddus family never actually lived in the house. They tried to rent it.
Well, it took a long time for them to decide to not live in it.
Yeah. Which it would me too. You spend this money in this house, gorgeous.
Yeah. So you can look online and see inside. It was beautiful.
Yeah. And, you just, and you want to raise your kids there. And like you said, she's from that area.
Right. It leads you to believe that they were targeted as a family, since there was never any letters before that. Oh. And then there was never any letters since that. So since they sold the house, they rented it first.
Yes.
For a little while because it would not sell.
Yeah.
Because word got out. And, people didn't really like, what's his name? Derek.
Broaddus.
They didn't really like Derek.
Yeah.
A lot. And the family, they thought, for whatever reason, they were not accepted into the neighborhood.
Yes.
I think maybe because this all caused trouble and the police were there and all this other stuff. So I feel like it was like they couldn't have moved in anyway. They would not have been accepted anyway.
Yeah.
But then, the word came out about the watch of the letters got out somehow. And then that puts a stigma on a home.
Sure. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I know, like when we go to Gettysburg to do those ghost tours or whatever, they never take you to a home and say, this is happening haunted. This house is haunted, because legally they can't.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then the Broadduses ended up taking the Woods to court, the people who owned the house before, to court, because there's a law basically in New Jersey that you have to disclose anything like that. Well, they didn't even think that was anything.
See, if I would, in all honesty, if I was the owners, I wouldn't have thought that either. I've moved. I got this letter. This is funny.
Yes, I would never. So that case was dismissed. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's.
Well, and then the Broadduses also tried selling the land or something, and they wanted to make
tear the house down.
The house down, and the township or the HOA refused that. So
yeah.
They were stuck.
They were stuck with this house that and they couldn't live in, and they couldn't. I mean, I would just be so devastated.
I would too, and I think they ended up living with relatives,
with her mother.
Okay,
yeah, until they bought something else. I think.
Yeah, but they took a major
hit. I think it sold finally for $900 thousand. So they lost about $400,000.
Yeah, that's not even including, I don't think, the renovations that they had done.
Yeah. I do not know.
So now,
when the renters moved in, though, that's when they got the fourth letter.
Right.
So that was like later.
Yeah.
So they get the fourth letter, and then it says, this one's interesting. Then it gets kind of attack mode. Yeah. It says, to the vile and spiteful Derek and his wench of a wife, Maria.
Wow. So now it's personal.
Right.
Like now it's really
honed into personal. And wench of a wife, that's old people speak.
That's true.
So anyway, I said the letter then teased the writer's identity, saying that perhaps the couple had encountered him before. This I'm reading off of the Today Show website. If you want to look at that, I don't want to get accused of plagiarizing.
We get accused of a lot of things.
I know. It says, you wonder who the watcher is? Turn around, idiots. The letter read. Maybe you even spoke to me, one of the so-called neighbors who has no idea who the watcher could be. Or maybe you do know and you're too scared to tell anyone.
That would freak me out.
Good move. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it went on. I don't have the rest of that letter to threaten them. Like you never know what could happen if it's a car accident or you get sick or there's broken bones. It'll always be.
It was really.
It was psychological warfare.
Yeah,
like it traumatized them. Like they both ended up having like some mental issues.
I would have trouble sleeping even in a different location.
Now, interestingly enough, the people who bought the house they say they have not gotten any letters.
Right.
However, the police have been out there 58 times.
In
the beginning, it was for somebody trying to break into the basement.
Okay.
Somebody trying to that, and the other thing. And then a lot of them, I think, were once there was a movie on Netflix called The Watcher.
Yes.
Once that came out, then you have your looky-loos, people who I think they might have to call them for trespassing or, something like that. So I don't know how many of those 58 were those, but there was a lot that had to do with like suspected break-ins or which would just freak me out.
Me too. And I had seen The Watcher on Netflix.
Oh, did you watch that?
Yeah, a few years ago. And honestly, I think you should watch it. Anybody should.
I didn't see it.
But one of the things I did do, like, what is the difference between Netflix and, of course, what happened real? So honestly, watch the Netflix movie because it's creepy.
Yeah.
But it does say the family moved in the Netflix. They did not move in real life.
Right.
In Netflix, they tried to make the neighbors very creepy, very criminalized, spooky. But in real life, the neighbors were mostly normal, except for the one.
Also, they did have neighbors behind them who
in real
who had this older couple who had lived there for a very long time, like decades, who had their lawn chairs set up, like next to the fence, so they could look directly into their house. And I forget when one of the workmen had commented to Derek and just said that this is creeping him out because these people are just sitting there staring into your house. So I know
that would creep me out. And then the last thing on the Netflix too is just they had tunnels and cult-like affairs and murders, whereas that never happened. But I would say to anybody, it gives you an idea of this story,
right,
to definitely watch it. To me, and it's still unsolved.
They still have no idea. He or she covered their tracks so well.
Yes.
That, I listened to some podcasts that were, I'll put in the show notes because it was 2 ex-FBI agents that were profilers. And, they think it's someone who had a grudge against the family. And it would have been somebody who was a very spiteful person who they said would say you're at a family gathering and would just say something like not nice, but couch it in something like, oh, I see you're moving up in the world and moving blah, 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 blah. But then, underneath is a very manipulative person.
Wow.
And so they didn't think from how they looked at the whole case, like dissecting the letters and stuff like that. They felt it was someone trying to act like they were older than they were, trying to mislead. They thought they did think that it was a woman.
Okay.
But they thought it was all kind of smoke and mirrors, that person never would have actually harmed the person.
Yeah.
However, mentally, I mean, what would you rather? Would you rather be like? I think I'd rather be attacked than to have something psychologically.
Yeah, I
messing with my head.
I would, and then I'd be scared. Is someone watching me all the time?
Awful to do to somebody. Awful to do to somebody.
I couldn't think of anything because your home is where you need to feel safe.
Yes.
That's your, So it would take away all of that.
Ugh. When you look at the pictures of the house, you can see there are a lot of windows, like
True.
everywhere. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
but,
it is.
But I could never sit in my living room and look outside and not be freaked out.
No. Now, another thought too, I did hear on one of the podcasts, and I don't know about this. They think that the Broaddus family actually sent the letters themselves. That I don't believe it either.
No.
But they think because they got in over their heads after buying the house, they wanted to, to get out. But they did, but they lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't. Anyway, that's a rumor
I know that,
and I don't think.
The FBI people haven't ruled, those profiles did not rule that out. They call it it's not self-incrimination. It's called self-something. When you do something, the rumors around the neighborhood were that they were doing it for a movie deal. Well, they got a movie deal, but that cost them $400,000 for it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I just, it's
weird.
Yeah, I don't think, because it came just 2 weeks after you pretty much bought this,
no, it was before that. It was like right when they had settlement. I think it was the day of settlement.
So I just, everything to me could, again, I'm unqualified.
That's right. We totally don't take our opinions for anything. And I hope we explained the story well, because it's hard on the 2-second cocktail.
Yes.
But you can look it up. It's just very fascinating. There's lots of people who've done videos on YouTube, things about it. I listened to Crime Hub. Have you listened to him?
Okay,
his podcast? I really, really like his take on it. I'll link to another one. I can't think what hers was called. I meant to bring that along, but they actually acted out kind of.
Oh wow!
And that one was really, really good too.
Yeah.
So I'll put the links to those. Yeah, because I enjoyed them, and each one had a different kind of take on everything. But the bottom line is creepy as
And I wouldn't even if I didn't have kids, I would not live in the house.
No,
with getting letters about watching.
I know. But I think we should do a road trip.
Yes, New Jersey.
I'm sure that they don't get that every day. I'm sure they do. I mean, my apple has been soaked in Crown Royal.
Oh, yeah. This was a very good cocktail.
Okay, so we don't really have. Well, we did have.
Yes,
a listener.
A positive. Yes, we did. We'll take it.
We'll take it. In our little burglar bag. Is that what we're calling it?
Yes, we're calling it burglar bag.
Burglar bag. We had a fan.
Yes.
Fan mail that said that they thought it was our best intro yet. That would have been on episode 12.
Yes.
And that they were anxious to listen to the rest of the story. And so that was from Frederick, Maryland.
Yes,
so thank you.
Yes. We don't know who you are, but we want to thank you. Keep listening, please. Yes.
And you can do fan mail through Buzzsprout. If you listen to us on Buzzsprout or through Buzzsprout, there's a little thing you can do fan mail. So.
Yeah, and it doesn't come up a name; it just comes up a location, doesn't it?
Yeah, so where you're. Maryland.
Yeah.
Thanks. I hope
we'll take it.
I hope you liked the episode after you listened to it. Yeah. The intro was good, but the episode really sucks. So, as always, visit the Sip Shop to get your merch.
Oh yes.
And you can contact us through sipspillsolve@gmail.com. Send us your fall cocktail recipes.
Yes, we're on fall now, people.
Yeah, fall. And what else? You can reach us on our Facebook page.
Our Instagram. Also YouTube. Don't forget now.
Don't forget YouTube.
Yeah, but you can reach us and leave us comments. We're there.
Thank you. So please support us. Support can be beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cheers.